Howdy, I'm the how-to guy, and today I'm going to show you how to make the very perfect grandma rolls. First thing we got to do is wash our hands. We call them grandma rolls because whenever grandma makes them, they're always perfect. But we're going to show you how you can make them. So the first thing the how-to guy is going to tell you is tie your hair back if you've got long hair. You've got to put on an apron if you don't want to get dirty. I've already got this one on. It's a little messy. So we're going to start out here now, and I'm going to start getting the ingredients ready to go. First thing we're going to do is get a cup of sugar. Put it in this bowl right here. The mixing's all going to happen in this bowl right here. Next thing we're going to add is a tablespoon of salt. The next ingredient we're going to work with is the milk. We need 2 cups of milk. Cow's milk. I don't think goat's milk would work with this recipe, so I'd use cow's milk. Now into these two cups of milk, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of shortening. Now we're going to put this milk in the microwave. Every microwave is a little bit different, but in our microwave it takes 5 minutes to bring that to a boil. Okay, the milk is ready. It came to a boil. It kind of looks like that. Now I'm going to add it to the sugar, and we're going to stir it in. We've got to stir this until it's dissolved. And 3 ice cubes. I'm going to the fridge to get 3 ice cubes. Don't get 4. Don't get 6. Don't get 2. Grandma said use 3 ice cubes and a cup of cool water. We're going to add that in when we add the sugar and the shortening and the milk. We're adding that in to cool this down a little bit. If we don't cool this down before we add the yeast, we're going to be in big trouble. So we have to cool it down a little bit. Okay, now while that's cooling off there, we're going to get the eggs ready. We're going to put 3 eggs in this cup that we mixed the other stuff in here. Now remember, as you watch me do this, it didn't look like I had exact perfect measurements. Well, Grandma didn't get exact perfect measurements. That isn't the secret to these rolls. So don't start panicking about the amount. Now I'm going to whip these up a little bit like scrambled eggs. My granddaughter would want me to make scrambled eggs right now with some cheese on them. Okay, scrambled eggs is going in here. No, the 3 eggs. We're not really going to do scrambled eggs. We're hungry because we haven't had any breakfast, so we're hungry. Everybody's standing around here thinking about these rolls, and they all look like they're hungry. It's going to take a minute or two. Okay, we got that stirred in there. Now we're going to add about 3/4 of a cup of warm water. Now this can't be hot and it can't be cold. The reason for that is it's going to have to dissolve the yeast. That's about 3/4 of a cup of warm water. And now we're going to add the yeast to that. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of yeast in. Bottle opened. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of yeast. And we're going to stir them up, dissolve them. Okay, we're going to add the yeast to the mixture. Now, if you've got a big family and you're having a family dinner, you can double the size of the order. You can make twice as many. You just need some extra roll pans when you make them up. And maybe a bigger bowl if you're going to double the amount. This bowl might not be quite big enough. Although I have seen Grandma do it in this size bowl. Okay, we got the yeast in there. Now we're ready to start putting flour in it. We're going to start out. I'm going to slide the flour pot around here where I can get it closer to where I'm working. Start out with, I'm going to put 4 cups of flour in it. One more. I got to start stirring this a little bit. See, all together we're going to wind up with 9 cups approximately of flour. That'll be determined by how the dough looks as we start putting it together, but we start out with 4 cups and then stir them in a little bit before we add any more. And then I'll add a couple more and stir them in. 2 more cups of flour. And we're going to stir it again. Actually, the ingredients are quite basic. You would wonder why everybody doesn't have perfect rolls. But I've ate dinner at a lot of places in my life, and the rolls were not always desirable. So what I'm showing you here is the way to have good rolls all the time. Okay, I'm adding 2 more cups of flour. This brings us to 8 cups. Before we're all done, it's going to take 9, 9.5, close to 10. I'm going to stir it in again. I'm stirring it with a spoon. I really think a bigger spoon would be better, but this is the one Grandma used, and so I'm going to do it right. I got to use Grandma's spoon, because the spoon's not going to work anymore. So I've got to get my hand in it. You saw me wash my hands. I did wash my hands. When it's kind of in a ball and not sticking, then it's probably got about the right consistency. We'll talk about it when we get a little closer to it. You can see from looking it's getting a little thicker as we go along here. We're getting close. I'm going to add just a little more flour, and then I need to get the flour off the sides of the bowl here. The bowl, it sticks to the bowl here. So we need to work that flour off of the bowl. It sticks to your hands too. I've always told Grandma I need to put oil on my hands, but Grandma Rolls, she says don't do that, so I'm not going to do that. There's some of you folks that are doing this that are going to be a lot better at this kneading part than I am. But when you see what these rolls turn out like, you'll say, well, that don't matter, I guess. We've used almost that full cup, that 10th cup of flour. Okay, we're getting real close now. We've had a little more than 10 cups in this batch. Every batch is not going to be the same because of the way your flour works. Now we kind of prefer gold medal flour because that's what Grandma uses, and so that's what we're using here today. Any good all-purpose flour is probably adequate, but we have to guarantee the rolls, they got to be gold medal flour. It's still just a little bit sticky. And I've watched Grandma do this. She does it a lot faster and it's a lot prettier. But the object is to get you some good rolls. I think we're there. Now I've got to add some oil to the bottom of this bowl. About a tablespoon on each side. You heard me say about. We're not measuring it right now. We're guesstimating it. Because that's the way Grandma did it. We don't want you to mess it up by measuring it and get too perfect. Okay. Kind of smooth it off. You can make a little dome shape there as best you can. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands off, and then we've got to cover this with a towel. I got the towel here, but I got to wash my hands off first, and then I'll put the towel over it, and then we've got to put it where it's warm so that the yeast has a chance to work. This is just a dish towel. It don't have to be this one, it can be any one. And you cover them over, and that keeps it warm, even temperature in there, so the yeast can go to work and raise up. And it has to raise for probably an hour or more before we can go to the next step. And the next step is to knock the air out of it, knock it down again, and then let it raise again before we actually make the rolls out.